Welcome guys. Today we're talking about stick baits. We're going to go over different kinds of stick baits, when to use them, what kind to buy, what brand, what are the differences between the brands. Do we buy cheap ones? Do we buy the expensive ones? I got about 5 or 6 brands today that I personally fished with that I'll go through you with. The first brand we're going to talk about are the Bass Pro Shops Sticko worms. All right. They are 5 3/8 inch, which is your normal stick bait size. They also have the 4 1/4 inch, which I'll occasionally use, but I mainly use the 5 inch. I'll show you. This is probably, here's the difference between the two. I mainly fish with the big 5 inch because I think it falls a lot faster and it's a lot heavier. Sometimes, especially if it's windy, it's hard to fish with the little one. What I like about the Bass Pro Shops ones is they are they're cheaper. They are like 5 something for a pack of 16, and so they're probably the best bang for the buck when it comes to stick baits. For normally where we fish here in Illinois, I stick to the usually the green pump and the watermelons, the flakes. Occasionally we'll get into a little bit of the whites if they're chasing shad, but mainly stick to the natural colors around here. What I like about these is they are pretty dense, so they hold up pretty well. You can usually catch more than one fish out of them before they go bad, but then again, that's also a downside because the fish bites it and it's a lot harder for them to grip onto. But the colors are good, the quality's good. They don't get real melty in the sun. They do get a little softer in the sun, which can be to advantage, but they don't like melt together in the package or anything like that. So definitely probably my most used Senko. Next we have the KVD, the Ochos by Strike King. They are another one of my favorites that I use quite a bit. They are a little unique. They have the coffee smell that most of the Strike King stuff has. Here's the package for them. They are a 5 inch. Like I said, most of the ones I use are between a 5 and a 5.5 inch. These are very unique because they have like flat sides to them. They are not perfectly round. So I think they kind of hit, the sun kind of hits them a little differently because the sides are kind of shiny. They have like little grooves on them. They do have the little egg sac in the middle. But these are a lot softer than the Bass Pro Shop baits, and they have quite a bit of stretch in them. So these are much softer. I think sometimes when the fish and the bite's kind of hard with these, they like the little softer bait because it feels a little more natural and they bite down to it. Especially when it's colder, because with the Bass Pro Shops they can get really hard in the cold. Whether these are naturally a little more soft, so when you fish in colder water, they don't get quite so stiff when the fish bite them. These don't really melt together either in the package. They get very soft in the sun though. If you leave them sitting out on the deck, you can very easily pull them apart with your fingers. Again, I use the green pumpkin red flake for fishing, your natural, maybe a little stained clear water. They are 8 in a pack. They are a little pricier though. They're like $6.99 to like $5.50 a pack. But they say there's an 8 pack, so you don't get quite as many. So that's what I like about the Bass Pro Shops is you get a 16 pack. And then Bass Pro also puts on sale in certain colors. They have 25 and 50 packs. Sometimes you get the 50 pack for like $12.99. That's a great deal. The 50 pack can make me through almost the entire summer. The next one we'll go through is another Strike King. It's called the Zeros. They are also a 5 inch, but these are a little more expensive yet. They're about $6, but there's only 6 of them in here. These are pretty unique. These come out a couple years ago. These baits, they are salted. Here, I'll get the package in here. They are very unique, and I found them when I was fishing table rock with the Ned rig. These work great for the Ned rigs. You can either get the shorter version or cut the 5" in half for the Ned rig. And what I think is very unique about them is they are extremely stretchy. It's actually crazy how much they'll stretch, and you can, if you get like a little bluegill biting it or something, and they like pull on the end, you can like feel it tug on the end of your line. So these are very unique. They are very, very, very squishy, very stretchy, but they are very durable. These will last you quite a while, and their consistency doesn't change with temperature. When it gets super hot, these don't get mushy. And to say, it's unbelievable how stretchy they are without breaking. And even if you start getting a couple fish on them, they'll still stretch before they break. These I like again with the green pumpkin, watermelon, red flake. Unless I'm fishing down on like table rock, then I'll throw like a peanut butter jelly or something with a little orange in it. Another brand, another one of my favorites I've used for a long time are the Lake Fork lures. They're the Hyper Sticks. They are great, great baits. Love Lake Fork lures. Once again, fishing Lake Fork is where I found these. I actually talked to one of the owners of Lake Fork lures, and he set me onto these, and once I fished them on Lake Fork, I couldn't get away from them. These are unique because, like all Lake Fork lures, they have garlic scent on them, and like they have the Lake Fork lures, the patented wedge in the middle here. I'll see if I can get this wedge to show up on camera here. You can see it's got the little wedge that all Lake Fork lures do. They have a hyper stick and then a hyper worm. The hyper worm has a big paddle tail in the end, where the hyper stick is just like your normal stick bait. So these are good. They're a little firmer. They're about the same consistency as the Bass Pro Shop worms. I really like these because they have such a heavy action to them. The only thing I don't like about these are not good whacking worms. Lake Fork Lures has a worm for whacking worming, but this is not it. This does not work very well. As you can see, if you were to whacky worm it, it gets real limp. This is only best Texas rigged. Texas rigged, Carolina rigged is how these work best, and they work very well because not a lot of people use them up here in Illinois. So their presentation when the lakes in the summer are getting pounded by worms, it's something a little different. Even though they're not as soft as some of the other worms, but with that unique action, they work pretty well. And next we'll go to what's ZMan. They're called Zinker Z's. They are a newer worm within the past few years. They are again a little expensive again. All these are pretty much around $5 for a pack. It's usually just normally how many packs you have in them. Like these are 5-inch 6-pack. Oh, I didn't talk about the Lake Fork lures. They come in, I think, a 8 or a 10 pack, so they're not too badly priced either. I can say most of these are all between $5 and $6 for a pack. It's just how many are in the pack. These Z-Mans are very similar to the Strike King worms. They are very stretchy. They are just as durable. This is what I started out fishing with, these Z-Mans when I was starting to fish with Ned rigs, because the Z-Man was kind of the original person to come out with the Ned rig rigs, and then they came out these worms for them. I don't like these as well. I mean, they are just as stretchy, work just as well, colors stay good, but these are very melty. You get these in the hot sun and the whole pack like almost melts together. So that is one disadvantage, but if you keep them out of the sun, they are okay. The last brand I'm going to talk about is the elusive Gary Yamamoto. These were the original stick bait. Everybody calls all their stick baits now Senkos because Gary Yamamoto originally came out with the Senko. They're the original brand, so everybody just kind of calls them Senkos now. Everybody has their own brand. These, I rarely fish with these anymore. When I first started, this is all I fished with. I remember when I first started, they come in 10 packs, and when they came out, they were like $4.99 for a 10 pack. They are great baits. I do love these worms dearly. The Christmas tree is my favorite color in this worm, and no manufacturer besides Gary Yamamoto makes the same color. I used it for a lot of years, but Gary Yamamoto, this same pack that used to be $5.99 for a 10 pack is now $8.99. So these are definitely the most expensive, and to me, when I have options like the Ocho, the Lake Fork lures, and the Bass Pro Shop worm, it's no comparison to why I would pay $9 when I could buy twice the bait and be equal, or spend just a little bit more than that and get worms with the same consistency. These are very soft. These probably feel the best to the touch. They are very pliable, they definitely are my favorite worm that I don't fish with anymore, just because they've gotten so expensive. These rip very easily. You leave these in the sun and they become like butter. So definitely these are not something to leave out on your deck on a hot summer day. They don't really melt together, but you can almost put them on the hook and rip them in half. I have such a love-hate relationship with Gary Yamamoto baits because I love them dearly, but they have gotten so expensive over the years that it's not worth it to me to fish with them anymore. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Be more videos upcoming about fishing gear and fishing trips. Hopefully get a lot more filming done this summer. Be fishing trip in March to Table Rock. Hopefully get some good bass then, and so then I'll see you guys next time. Please subscribe. Really helps.